Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your Monday Night Raw review on Monday, June 1st, 2020. We had Monday Night Raw tonight, 2 weeks before the Backlash pay-per-view. And oh boy, if this show tonight gave you any indication on what's going to happen throughout the summer months of June, July, and August for the WWE, folks, we're going to be in for a long summer. Get ready, because outside of Aleister Black, Seth Rollins, and the Rey Mysterio Dominik satellite, this show was garbage. Garbage. Can't name one thing outside of those two things that I saw good tonight. Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews was good until WWE got lazy, had Andrade and Garza attack both of them just to set up a tag team match that nobody cared about. What else do we have on the show tonight? Viking Raiders, Street Profits, bowling. This was probably their best game so far, but that doesn't have any indication saying it was good. It was completely embarrassing for the tag team championships on Monday Night Raw. We saw Asuka versus Charlotte. We got Asuka versus Charlotte tonight. Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane. I think Nia Jax legit injured Kairi Sane. Guys, Nia Jax is a disgrace to women's wrestling, and you're never going to get that out of my head. That was Raw for you tonight. So that's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about this show on the review, but before I get to the review, make sure you guys go check out last week's videos. We got AEW Dynamite review, NXT review, SmackDown review. Matt Riddle is now officially on SmackDown. And news and rumors. Not news and rumors. Rapid fire news. The video I did yesterday, we talked about Dominik Dijakovic potentially coming up to the main roster. We talked about Brian Cage and when he signed with AEW. And we talked about the Double or Nothing pay-per-view buys from 115,000 to 120,000, which is fantastic numbers. So if you haven't seen that already, make sure you guys go check them out. I would very much appreciate it. And let's get to this June 1st edition of Monday Night Raw, which opened up with a Seth Rollins promo that was okay at best. I mean, it was very long promo, long, drawn out. Seth Rollins has actually cut some pretty damn good promos in the Performance Center during this Performance Center era in WWE. This one was probably his worst. I'm not going to lie. This was probably his worst promo. It was very long, drawn out. I got bored halfway through, so I just stopped paying attention. The only part I paid attention to was when he was talking about retiring Rey Mysterio and the video package of Rey Mysterio. And then after that, Aleister Black then came out, and Black and Rollins brawled, and that was that. That led to the Aleister Black Seth Rollins match, which I was actually really looking forward to, and I thought the match delivered. I thought this match was great. Outside of the 2 commercial breaks, it could have used maybe 1. But outside of the 2 commercial breaks, I thought this was awesome. This was a great match. It shows how the great chemistry that Black and Rollins had. They had a decent match the last time they wrestled each other. This one was great, with Black getting the win. Murphy and Theory were out there with Rollins. Humberto Carrillo came out to try to help Aleister Black. He had a steel chair in hand. So he was out there with Aleister Black, and then Black was getting some offense in, then Rollins got offense in, and Correa was facing Murphy and Austin Theory on the outside. Rollins rolled up Black, and Black kicked out, and then Black rolled up Rollins, and Aleister Black beat Seth Rollins. So that was a great match, and then after the match, Rollins, Theory, and Murphy all took out Black and Humberto Carrillo. So this match was awesome. Really was. Really good stuff here between Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins' stable looks strong at the end. Seth Rollins doesn't lose any credibility, so this is all good. Just great stuff. I thought the first half hour, because this match was like 25 minutes. I thought the first half hour of Monday Night Raw was actually pretty decent. So we were starting off with a decent start to Monday Night Raw. We then had Shawn Michaels shilling the Edge Randy Orton greatest wrestling match ever. And he said, I've been a part of a lot of great wrestling matches. Ladder match against Scott Hall at WrestleMania 10. My match against Bret Hart. And then my 2 WrestleMania matches at 25 and 26 against The Undertaker. But if we're talking about greatest wrestling matches for me, we'll be here forever, he said. So he said, Edge and Randy Orton have the capability of putting on the greatest match ever. Jesus Christ, man. But he said, if I had to give the edge to Edge or Randy Orton, I'm giving the edge to Edge. So that's what he said. The WWE Shield made Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, and Shawn Michaels shield the fact that Edge and Randy Orton is going to be the greatest wrestling match ever at Backlash. And it's coming to the point now where I want to vomit every time I hear that, because I love Edge, I love Orton, but WWE is setting these guys up for failure. They're setting them up for failure. I'm going to try to say this in a nice way. Them keep piping this up as the greatest wrestling match ever. It's going to turn into an ultimate failure. This reminds me of when wrestling fans were hyping up AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura from WrestleMania 34. Way too much. They were hyping this up that it was going to be a 5-star classic at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And what happened? What happened? It wasn't a bad match, but it was a subpar match. It was a passable match for a Raw or SmackDown. It was not a WrestleMania quality match, and all the fans were left disappointed with sour faces. And I'm feeling the same way about Edge and Randy Orton. WWE is hyping this up way too much, and all this is going to do is this is going to come back and it's going to bite them in the ass. And when this is not the greatest wrestling match ever, WWE is going to get a whole lot of backlash from this. That's all I'm saying on Edge and Randy Orton tonight on the Raw review. Randy Orton cut a promo backstage, and I did not see it. So we then have Apollo Crews, who said he can't believe he is standing here as your United States champion, and he is honored to be your United States champion. He then said the victory over Andrade was huge last week, and tonight he gets rolling at the United States Championship Open Challenge. He actually got to pick his opponent, and he picked Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was like, it's good that you picked me and all, but I'm not feeling it. I lost to Garza last week, and I don't feel like I deserve this. He says, Cruz said this is all out of respect. And then Owens was like, yeah, but I feel bad. And Cruz was like, you feel bad? Well, what do you feel bad about? And then Owens said, I feel bad that I'm going to take your United States Championship, and your reign as champion is going to be very short. So that was pretty funny from Owens. Dropping a nice line right there. And then we got Owens versus Cruz. It was a good match. Good match for like 10 minutes until Andrade and Angel Garza came out and interfered in the match. Of course, I called it on Twitter too. So Andrade and Garza came out to interfere in the match, and instead of giving Apollo Crews a big victory against Kevin Owens clean, retaining the United States Championship, we get this garbage when two guys come in and attack the two guys in the ring, and it sets up a tag team match. And I did not give a shit about the tag team match. That I barely watched it. I saw the ending of it. Owens got taken out by Garza. Andrade was rolling up Cruz. Andrade put his foot on the rope. Cruz still kicked out. Hit Andrade with the sit-out powerbomb. And surprisingly, folks, Apollo Crews pinned Andrade. I was totally expecting Andrade to pin Apollo Crews in the tag team match to set up the rematch for Backlash, but I'm guessing Andrade is not getting a rematch, because if you lose to the champion in a regular tag team match, then what's the point of getting your rematch for the title? You know what I mean? So, I lost interest right after the DQ. I lost interest. If this is what you were gonna do, then why book the U.S. Championship match? You put on such a good match. It wasn't the best thing ever, but you put on a good match between Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews. You could give Apollo Crews a big victory over Kevin Owens clean. And yeah, Kevin Owens can take a loss right now and get his championship reign on the right foot. But instead, you take the lazy way out and put these two guys in a tag team match against Garza and Andrade, and it did nothing for nobody. So that's that. And then, after the U.S. Championship match, this show just got downhill very quickly. Very quickly, meaning a bowling competition between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. And I actually saw Montez Ford talking about this on his Twitter page, shilling the bowling match between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. How about you try to get your tag team division up and have at least some interest and credibility, but instead you want to shill that your team and the Viking Raiders are bowling. Good job, Montez. I hope you're proud of yourself, dude. The bowling match was their best game they've played so far. I love bowling personally, so that might be one of the only reasons, but besides that, this was really, really embarrassing. We had Viking Raiders who were experts at bowling. Street Profits who had to like clowns that they didn't know what they were doing. And Viking Raiders were like, "Where's the ball? There's no ball. There's no bowling balls coming out." And Ivar pulled out a chicken leg, so that's that. And then Ivar went to the kitchen and he pulled out 2 more chicken legs. And the chef or woman back there running told him to get out. And Street Profits told the guy at the front desk to turn the lights off and get the disco on or whatever. And the Street Profits theme song started to play, and they got good at bowling. And then they were up, I think, 130 to 121. And Eric pushed Ivar down the ramp, and Ivar pushed the ball and got a strike. So the Viking Raiders won by 1, and this series is the Street Profits 2 and the Viking Raiders 2. This is embarrassing. This is really embarrassing. It was their best game they've played, but this is your tag team division, guys. This is your tag team division. Not only on Monday Night Raw, but in WWE, because there's no tag teams on SmackDown besides the New Day, the Forgotten Sons, and the Lucha House Party, because the Miz and Morrison are off doing stuff with Braun Strowman. And you got, on Monday night, you got the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders doing cringe-like things like this. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Can we just get these guys for the Raw Tag Team titles at Backlash so this can all be over with? And when it is over with, I'll be happy. Because this is terrible. We go from bad to worse with Nikki Cross and Billie Kay. If you think that I watched this match, you're a fool. If you think I watched this match, you are a fool. I had no interest in this match whatsoever. Billie Kay, let me tell you something. Billie Kay is one of the worst wrestlers I have ever seen. That woman did not take a bump in that match against Nikki Cross. Once the Performance Center training opens back up, she better be first in line, standing right behind Nia Jax to get some training. Nia Jax is the worst wrestler the WWE has. Billie Kay is a close second, man. Billie Kay is a close second. She needs to learn how to take a bump. She really does. And I could not... That's probably the reason why I could not get myself in the match. And then Nikki Cross has turned into a disgrace. Where's the Nikki Cross that I knew in NXT, who was a part of Sanity, who was this crazy chick and challenged Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver Chicago? Where's that Nikki Cross? This Nikki Cross now would look at the Nikki Cross in NXT, and the main roster Nikki Cross would be ashamed of herself. That's what I compare it to. Billie Kay wins. We're probably going to get Peyton Royce beating Alexa Bliss next week, which leads to a tag title match at Backlash. Oh joy. Oh joy. Rey Mysterio appeared via satellite. He said that Seth Rollins can go screw himself, and he's been at home resting his eye. He don't know when he'll get cleared by the doctor. He can get cleared in a few weeks, a few months, or he can never get cleared again. Ray's son, Dominik, then came behind him, and he said a few things about Seth Rollins, and Rey Mysterio told him to chill out. And Dominik was like, no, I'm not going to chill. This man tried to blind your left eye, or right eye, I think it was. So, it seems like Dominik took more offense to this than Rey Mysterio did. So this surprised me. And then Rey Mysterio left, and Dominik said, Seth Rollins, eye for an eye. So that was good. That was really good. That was probably the only good thing after the United States Championship match. I'm very interested. I gotta admit, man, I am very interested to see where this goes. What happens in the future. I thought originally we could have seen Seth Rollins versus Mysterio at Backlash, but I don't think that's going to happen yet. I think they're going to be long-term booking with this, and we're probably going to get Mysterio versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Dominik, I think, will somehow get involved in this. I don't know how, but he will definitely get himself involved, no doubt whatsoever. This is very good, but this is one of the few main roster storylines I'm actually invested in. Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane. There's reports that Nia Jax legit busted up Kairi Sane in this match, and I mean, this is just such a disgrace, man. It really is. I don't know how. If I am in charge of WWE on April 15th, when all the releases happened, I would have released that woman, no doubt. Nia Jax would have been gone if it was up to me. But it's not, and the only reason she's there is because she's The Rock's cousin. And this is what happened to poor Kairi Sane. You guys see that? A cut right above her head. But WWE, heavily edited this match. They had no choice but to. She probably had blood pouring down her face. She first slammed her head onto the ring apron and then picks her up by the hair. Kairi Sane can't even get positioned right and ready. And Nia Jax just flings her into the steel steps. And she's not even ready. Nia Jax then gives her a Samoa drop. And that's it. So it was very obvious that WWE edited out the referee stopping the match to check on Kairi, because it would have came off bad on television. That's that, man. First and foremost, I hope Kairi Sane's okay. And, man, just once Nia Jax loses that Backlash, because you know she's going to, get her off television permanently. She needs to permanently be off television. And I don't care if I never see her again. That's how much I dislike the woman. Charlotte versus Asuka. I'm really going to rush with this because this show sucked, man. A really bad show tonight. Charlotte versus Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship. Charlotte, not for the NXT Women's Championship. NXT Women's Champion versus Raw Women's Champion. And Asuka cut a promo. Charlotte. I'm stumbling with my words here, man. Charlotte cut a promo before this, and I just did not listen because I did not care. Then we got the match. The match was decent. And then Nia Jax. Asuka looks like a complete idiot in this sequence. Asuka is standing on the outside. The referee is counting. Asuka's theme music hits. Nia Jax comes out to her Asuka mask. She's doing Asuka's dance. And she's got green face paint on her face like Asuka would when she's in the ring. So Asuka just stood there. Nia Jax ran down the ring and shoulder tackled Asuka. And then she left. And Asuka got counted out. Asuka was made to look like a complete idiot during this sequence. And even though the Charlotte-Asuka match was decent, it was okay, this was by far their worst match they've ever had together. Finally, main event. This match literally went 3 minutes. MVP, Drew McIntyre. It was literally a squash match. Lana was outside. Drew McIntyre was getting ready to set up the Claymore. Bobby Lashley pulled out MVP. Drew McIntyre did a did a dive over the top rope to Lashley and MVP. Threw MVP back in the ring. Gave him the Claymore. And Lana was smiling in the background when Drew McIntyre beat MVP. McIntyre did not get time to celebrate as Bobby Lashley put McIntyre in the full Nelson. McIntyre was fighting off, and that's the way Raw went off. Besides those two things, terrible show tonight. Not a good show whatsoever. If you thought tonight was a good show, I mean, whatever. It's whatever. I really don't know what to tell you. And we got Backlash, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And the 4 matches we got for that card looks awful. Edge, Randy Orton, which is going to be the greatest wrestling match ever, said nobody. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman versus The Miz and Morrison for the Universal Championship, and Asuka Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. So June 14th is going to be a very long night, folks. So get the pillows ready. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for watching this review tonight. If you haven't already, subscribe right here on the Big Fight Field channel. We got some great content coming up for you guys. If you did not read my tweet on Saturday, I announced that this was months in the making. Eddie Mullins super kicked me in the face at the AEW Revolution review. Yes, I still remember. Eddie's walking around. We're cool, but he acts like he's the best. So I'm finally going to put that down. I'm going to make that a false narrative when I take him on in a backyard brawl on Saturday, June 13th. And I'm going to do a video on that match tomorrow here on the Big Fight Field channel. So you guys are not going to want to miss that. If you don't have your notifications on, you better turn them on, man. Because I have some words for you, Eddie, tomorrow. I have some words for you, brother. Comment down below what you thought of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. If you're excited for a new week of Big Fight Field content, hit that like button. Follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. Same goes with Instagram. And follow my opponent, Eddie Mullins, on Twitter at EddieMullins515. You guys are not gonna want to miss tomorrow's video. Have a good night, stay safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.